Hey guys, Movie Fan here to do a very special video. Now, with everything going on with Power Rangers, for instance, we got the big anniversary coming up, and not to mention we got the new comic book coming out. I figured it was time to ask one question that I don't know if anyone's ever really addressed outside of certain circles. What if Godzilla actually met the most powerful Megazord in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, Serpentera? Would Godzilla win? Would Serpentera win? Well, let's see if we could get any possible answers out of this. Now, I've never done anything like this before because I don't really go in for fan fiction or fan theories. Plus, what ifs are, well, out of my zone. But I figured, why not? I mean, it's a new age. Might as well try to get with the times. Now, obviously, to go with this possibility, I'll be piggybacking off of the scenario of the upcoming comic book. Because obviously, in this comic book, he's going to be fighting against, the Dino Megazord and the Mighty Dragon Zord. In a way, this could become a possibility for another comic book series. So I'm going to go with the heights that are probably going to be given for, the upcoming comic book series. Well, Megazord actually stands at 134 feet tall, and the Mighty Dragon Zord stands at 124 feet tall. So how tall will this Godzilla have to be for this comic book? Well, his height has ranged from 164 feet tall all the way to 393 feet tall in recent years. Most likely, Godzilla will be, well, roughly even with Dragon Zord and the Megazord. So he'll probably be at his original 164 feet tall, maybe even 200. That's only a wild guess, though. But for the sake of argument, let's say this Godzilla stands 164 feet tall. So now, how tall is Serpentera? Well, for Serpentera, because he has two forms, I have to give you two different measurements. In his dragon mode, he's actually 1,640 feet long. And when he's in his warrior mode, he actually stands 1,131 feet tall. Now, as for power, this is probably the most interesting part of the story. For Godzilla, we know he's got his trademark atomic breath. Serpentera, on the other hand, he's got an incredible lightning attack which does incredible damage. He also has another attack which was used only once. It has been labeled as the Black Hole Blast, where he supercharged his lightning power in his mouth and shot it into the ground, which created a hole and destroyed an entire planet. And of course, let's not forget, Serpentera can fly. Obviously, Serpentera is incredibly powerful, but anything this powerful usually has one or two weaknesses, and Serpentera has some pretty big weaknesses. First and foremost, his great size makes him pretty sluggish, obviously, as you would imagine being as big as Serpentera is. He probably moves very slow, and it's no secret among Power Ranger fans that Serpentera's biggest weakness is its power. In fact, Serpentera uses so much power that it just drains it immediately. In fact, this comes up time and time again in the series. As for Godzilla, his biggest weakness is super weapons and especially electricity. So now we come to the big question. If Godzilla were to actually face off with Serpentera, who would win? This would probably end one of two ways. The first and foremost, Godzilla tries to go toe-to-toe with Serpentera. Obviously, that would be suicide because Serpentera is much bigger than him and has a lot more power than him. Because, well, the blasts are incredibly powerful, and don't forget, Serpentera's feet would make Godzilla look like a pebble by comparison. So, Serpentera could easily crush him under his foot. And Serpentera could fly. So if he flew in, he could either grab Godzilla and just drop him off like Ghidorah did, or just go around shooting. So obviously going toe-to-toe with Serpentera, no. Godzilla would lose big time. But what about fighting with his atomic breath versus Serpentera's power? Considering the power that Serpentera actually uses, I would think that Godzilla wouldn't have too much of a chance. However, with all honesty, Serpentera's power drains within minutes. So most likely, who am I kidding? Let's get real. Serpentera would lose big time and would have to withdraw because it uses up way too much power way too fast. Obviously, if Serpentera's power was limitless, it would have no trouble destroying Godzilla with every kind of blast it felt like doing. But since Serpentera's power is so limited, obviously it wouldn't be able to destroy Godzilla with its blasts. except for maybe that black hole blast. But again, that would take up way too much power, so most likely he wouldn't use that. Bottom line, because Serpentera drains its power so fast, I would say Godzilla would probably be the winner by default, because, again, Serpentera would probably use up way too much of its power and would have to leave, unless Lord Zed adjusted his strategy and just crushed Godzilla or would just fly and do a few zapping moves or use his tail. But since Lord Zed's not really want to do it like that, it's very doubtful. So what do you guys think? Do you think Serpentera would win, or do you think Godzilla would? Feel free to let me know. This is Movie Fan, signing off.